Aye.
Yeah, it's just like,
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Hinckley Township Board of Trustees to order on Tuesday, November 21 at 6:30 p.m. Call the roll, please. 6:30 p.m.
Swedek,
It's here.
Asher,
Here.
Augustine.
Here.
Okay, I'd like to ask those with us to join the honoring flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will move to approve the minutes for the November 7, 2023 regular trustee meeting.
Second. I have one edit. On the top of page 5, when we are talking about the tree ceremony, it just says discussion followed regarding a planting date, and that should be changed to ceremony date.
Seconded as amended.
And Martha, I had that ORC reference that, so I'm going to take a peek in the agenda and see if that's what it said.
I have it in front of me. I can look
Okay.
at the agenda. See, it says 5501.160. Is that the ORC?
Well, 60.60 is for the interchanges. I'm assuming that's what it was supposed to be. But if it was stated as 160, just leave it.
You can, I'm just looking at the agenda,
Okay.
what was written in the agenda.
I don't, for what?
For
Which-
the testimony for the opposition for I-71 Boston interchange. That's what Jack's making sure
Testimony.
the ORC statute is.
Was it for the
correct.
interchange? Because the interchange is .60.
The repeal?
It was
of-
for the repeal.
Repeal of,
I don't have it in front of me, but I can look it up.
okay.
Judy said she had a hard time hearing, which is understandable in that room, but she may have just pulled it from the
The minutes,
agenda
the agenda.
also. It makes sense.
It was 5501.60.
So
Point
there's an
60,
extra-
okay.
There's
So,
an extra one in the
Yeah.
agenda.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so you wanted amended to have the correct,
Just in case anybody wants to refer back to it.
I'm sure there'll be a line for that.
Yes.
Good catch.
Very good. Seconded as amended. Unless there's any
All in
other.
favor?
Aye.
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 Move to approve the minutes for the November 9, 2023 special trustee meeting.
Second.
Second by Ashwell.
Abstain.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let's go down to, who has somewhere to be?
We all do. It's Taco Tuesday.
I can't make that claim.
Aye.
My first,
You can have first.
I'd just like to preface tonight that my requests will be coming out of the funding of the generous donation from the Parks Foundation, not our general operating budget. So I would like to request appropriations totaling $17,952 for a complete upgrade of the police department's security camera system from Zadar Technology, Inc. out of Hinckley.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just to clarify, when the donation was given, there were no requirements placed on it. So it was placed into your general operating fund.
Okay,
So there's no special line
Got
for that, but nonetheless, I track it.
sure.
And Mike, just for the public's knowledge, you said it's been like 15 years.
Yeah, so
right,
the
since
our
those
current
cameras?
system is 10 to 15-year-old technology, Mr. Zadar said, and that kind of aligns. I believe that system was placed fairly shortly after Chief Kolapski started with us, so that's probably in line with that 15-year range. The current DVR is obsolete. There are no replacements available, so if that was to go down, we're dead in the water. It's called 600 TVL resolution, which is comparable to 0.4 megapixels. So it's super grainy. We actually had an incident recently. I can't really go into specifics, but we tried zooming and it's so pixelated. I mean, other than general viewing of seeing people come and go, it's very dated. So the new system will be all HD digital. They got to run all new Cat6 cables, new DVR. They're moving the system down into our IT room. So it's fairly complex, but it will definitely be current and keep us with times for hopefully the next several years.
And it's nothing new, it's just, we're just replacing existing.
We're replacing it. We are adding one camera just because we do have a dead spot. We currently have 11. We're replacing with 12.
Okay.
So we're just, replacing with new upgraded current technology.
Very good.
And did we get any idea of a time frame?
He said 2 to 3 weeks ETA after approval and ordering.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, and your other question, we will have a 12 terabyte hard drive with 12 cameras. He said we should easily get 30 days. He has an 18 camera system on 8 terabytes and gets 30 days. So we should easily be able to, and it all depends on settings and stuff like that, but we should easily be able to retain at least 30 days.
Perfect. Thank you.
So you have a motion. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Call the roll.
Oh, okay. So I didn't,
Yes.
Asher?
Yes.
Yes.
Next, this kind of ties in with the first one. We're requesting appropriations not to exceed $3,000 for 9 TV monitors purchased from Best Buy. That total really should be in the 2,500 range. Just wanted to give a little cushion in case something goes out of stock and we have to change those models. 5 of those TVs will be used for this new camera system to have live display in the administrative offices, the patrol office, and the front office. The other 4, we kind of wanted to get the Black Friday sales. We have a future project coming up for displaying our CAD system and the current operation of the officers through the computer system that the other 4 are going to be used for in the future. But like I said, we wanted to get that Black Friday savings this week on this.
Smart.
So moved.
Second.
Are these TVs capable of supporting the definition provided by the cameras, or are these just?
Yeah, these
Do
are.
you have dedicated monitors with the security equipment?
There's nothing that comes with it. Right now, we have 1 monitor. It's very small and it's just up in the front in Kumi's office, the old dispatch center. So they're Samsung TVs, just like you'd buy at Best Buy. They're 43 inch. Well, 6 of them are 43 inch, 3 of them are 50 inch. Samsung 4K TVs. They're going to be HDMI connections. So
My question being is, are they capable of displaying that high resolution
Yes.
video that he's saying? Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Any further discussion?
Mm-mm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Last on our list is request to accept the resignation of part-time patrolman Robert Gabriel, backdated effective November 1st. Just to give a little history, Bob Gabriel started his career here in Hinckley in the 80s. He went to finished a full career out in Middleburg Heights. And a couple years ago, when he retired from Middleburg, he came back to us and he's been helping us, again, just part-time, public events and assisting here or there. But he and his wife and their horses have moved to Southern Ohio. So
Aw.
Horses too.
we will miss him and we appreciate his time with
Will
us.
Definitely be missed.
So moved. Do
Second.
we have to do that for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion for that?
Yes.
Okay. Second, and any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Wish you
other
all the best.
plans for the other monies that are sitting there ready to go? I know Chief had said maybe doing some luxury vinyl flooring.
Yeah, we have several ideas. I've received some quotes, still kind of working through them. Yeah, talking about possibly flooring, possibly some office furniture, some other technology related components. So working through.
Okay,
We'll be presenting those in the coming weeks or months.
perfect. The only other question I have is for both police and fire. We have been doing our quarterly zoning reports and cemetery reports, but we haven't seen any reporting from either of the two agencies. Can we see something for end of the year, please?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Anything further for the sergeant?
Thank you, Sergeant
Have a
Schultz.
good
All right.
evening,
I will depart momentarily.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving, Mike.
Thank you, you too, to the board and the public, and
You too.
Martha.
Thanks, Mike.
And Martha.
That's like the movie, The
Is
End
he
is the
coming to
big
your house
night.
or something for Thanksgiving?
You saved the best for last, right?
Good.
Have at it.
First, I want to start off by thanking all of our mutual aid partners and department members that came out this weekend. We did conduct a live burn training. If those of you haven't seen on social media, Saturday and Sunday, live burn training was conducted up on Center Road across from Hope Memorial Gardens. It's a rare opportunity for us to get a structure to be able to conduct live fire training in, and it's a very valuable training especially for our younger, newer guys to do. Puts them more in a high stress situation. So it was a great training, went really well. On top of that, I also like to thank the police department for their help Sunday with traffic control. Because once we started the burn down of the house, we needed to have our tankers out on 303 positions. So the police department was a great help with that. So very successful. Nobody got hurt. And we received a lot of good feedback from all the area departments about how well the training went this weekend. So
Good.
It was really very impressive to see. I always, when Chief Grossenbaugh always tells me, fire will double in size every minute before there's any water being put on it. It's just amazing to see it.
one of the lieutenants from Granger Fire actually provided us a whole Google Drive of pictures and video he took from inside, and he got some really good video of, the fire rolling over everybody's head and as they're hitting it with the hose line and everything.
Yeah, that smoke was, I mean, what was that? I think I was like 75 feet back and hot. It was really hot. So
It's interesting. I believe you guys have shared in the past the difference from 40, 50 years ago based on
Oh, yeah.
synthetics and materials that are used now, how much quicker the
Right.
fire
Mhm.
spreads
It's
compared to it did.
really quick.
years
It's now they're estimating about every 30 seconds it's increasing drastically in size. So
Big takeaway there, don't keep dry grass in your house. I know that because that was.
Goodness.
well, and speaking of that, we had quite a bit of leaf and grass
Yeah.
fires
Yeah.
last week.
It's been a
So
mini drought there for a while.
Yes.
Sean, I'm also going to thank publicly Frank O'Ready, who provides the
Yes.
pallets every time we do these live burns. I mean, he just shows up with like a semi.
I think he brought us almost 70 pallets by himself. I mean, he called me up and he goes, "Hey, I'm on my way with a car trailer full," and I'm like, "Okay, let me find some help to unload this." And then the next 2 times he brought his dump trailer and just kind of dumped it for us. But we wouldn't have been him and Kevin Maletti, who brings the monster truck to our touch a truck. He brought us a whole round bale for the training. So without that supplies, we wouldn't have been able to do it also. So it was a giant group effort. And then we had a couple of food vendors donate food. So Mission Barbecue out of Parma brought barbecue, Jimmy John's in Brunswick, and Domino's Pizza. So they provided lunch for us when we took our break in between evolutions each
That's
day.
great.
So it was a good opportunity. And that's the second house in 2 years that we've been able to conduct this. I mean, it's very rare that we get this. And actually just last week I had somebody call and go, "Hey, do you guys burn down houses?" I'm like, "Wait a minute." But, they want,
like, yeah, can we
they
wait till next year?
they have a property that they want to demolish. And I said, "Well, here's what I need from you." So we might be conducting another one next year, but we'll see. I'm waiting on some results from them
Very
for
good.
inspection. So yeah, so it was very successful. And I think
And on that note, before you move on, I know you were just talking about the brush fires. want to remind everybody about
So.
call 911.
Yes, couple things from around late October all the way until early December. Ohio puts a burn ban every year. From that time frame, and then after the winter from I think it's around March until May. There's a burn ban in place from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every year. It's a constant rotation, and some people have said, well, why is it then and not in the summer when things are dry? And the reason is because of all the dead brush and the dead leaves. So that's, and on top of that, with the low humidity during those months, it's just a simple spark will create a pretty drastic brush fire. So with that, if we are gonna have fires, it needs to be in a container, like a barrel with a screen on top to prevent the sparks from going out. But we had, I think within a week, we had six incidents that we ended up having to extinguish fires. I think we called mutual aid on, I think 3 or 4 of them, because the one was very remote up here over behind the Ledgeview development. Very remote area. We had to hike back with rakes and Indian fighters. We couldn't get an apparatus back there. We couldn't get the UTV because it was so filled with brush.
Wow.
And our mutual aid partners, the Granger, Richfield, they were a huge help with us on those incidents too. But yes, please, we need to make sure that we are appropriately burning when we do burn. And on top of that, the fires need to be monitored at all times. We can't just abandon our fire pit, because what ended up happening, a couple unattended fires, the wind kicked up one ember and it set a ravine on fire.
Oh my God.
So it's very, very important that we pay attention to what we're burning, where we're burning, everything like that. I get it, fall cleanup, everybody wants to get rid of the leaves and everything. Also, we got to kind of be conscientious of our neighbors also, because the leaves produce a lot of smoke, wind blows towards their neighbors. People with asthma, respiratory issues, it tends to flare them up pretty bad. So
Okay.
it's very important around this
Well,
time
and
of
I'm
year.
glad you said state, because oftentimes we'll get a call and say, well, how come the township has these regulations, but
Yes.
they align with state regulations?
And anytime there is any questionable incident, please call 911. Please. We had somebody thought what they saw smoke coming from a house, and they called the fire station instead of calling 911. So I think we emphasize it almost every meeting now. Please call 911. There's no guarantee our crew will be at the station at that time, because they could be on another incident, or they could be out training in one of the developments. So we have dispatchers on 24/7 that can notify us by radio. So please call 911.
You're not going to get in trouble for
No,
calling 911
No.
if it turns
When
out
in
to be
doubt, call
nothing.
911.
Right.
So.
Thank you for that reminder.
Onto my next order, request appropriations of $2,359.61. This is going to be for emergency repairs to Squad 37 from General Maintenance Service Company here in Hinckley, in Opportunities Parkway on West 130th.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? 37.2 as opposed to?
No, it's 37. I think that he sent the wrong number, but the quote is for 37. That is the vehicle that is being repaired.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Next is request appropriations not to exceed $1,700 for 4 G1 face pieces from Fire Safety Services. These are our face masks for our SCBAs. With our recent hires, all of our members received their own personal face piece, so it's fitted to them. And so we assigned 4 face pieces, so we need to have 4 in reserve for replacement if need be.
Perfect.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you for explaining why we're getting 4 new ones after we just bought a bunch.
Next is to move firefighter paramedic Andrew Hudak from cadet pay of $14.78 per hour to paramedic pay of $18.54 per hour per the organizational minutes effective November 26, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, Andrew just recently graduated paramedic school, passed his paramedic, and he's had he's had some serious calls since he's already obtained his medic, and he's done a great job.
Congratulations to him.
So,
Had a bunch just recently.
yes, and yeah, they actually had they had a save. They did CPR. They had a gentleman who went into cardiac arrest. The wife did CPR. Police officers on scene did CPR, defibrillated. Our crew did CPR and defibrillated. Didn't give a single medication and got him back. And he walked out a week later from the hospital. So, yeah. So I was gonna actually this week is on my list to contact the patient and just get a follow up with him and get a checkup and let the crews know how he's doing. So. The final thing I have is the request to remove employment of firefighter paramedic Noah Stringer. Noah was sworn in, but was pending the remainder of our process with the background and medical physical. He called us up and said he accepted a full-time job with Akron Fire Department and will be starting their academy. So he's no longer going to have the time to dedicate to us. So
Thank you. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And then just a reminder about the Santa Parade.
oh yes, Santa Parade.
Do you have the date and the time, or do you need me to?
No,
say it?
I have
Okay.
It's Saturday. I was already told about it. We'll be bringing Santa down on the fire engine.
December 17th, not this Saturday.
Saturday,
December
December 17th.
17th,
So,
from 10 until 3.
yep. So we'll bring.
And we'll have
bring him
Santa
down.
Tracker on the
Yep.
website again.
Yep, Santa Tracker. Jen will keep putting posts out throughout social media of, hey, we'll be at this development in 5 minutes. We'll be, over here in the next 10. So she does a really good job at trying to keep everybody up to date and everything through social media. So you'll see Santa and probably Mrs. Claus going around on their sleigh with the fire trucks
Yeah.
And the
Both.
Grinch.
leading the way, and the Grinch, yes,
The best sleigh ever
and the little elves.
in all of Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, oh, there was a lot of work put into that sleigh, so the guys did a great job, and we always look for, this is probably the most favorite thing for our guys. This and touch a truck every year is our favorite thing to do
Love it.
every year, because you get to see all the kids' smiles and
Yeah,
everything, so
it's great. Thank you for doing it. I
No
know that
problem.
It's a lot of spare time.
a lot of spare time.
So Thank you.
Thank you much.
All right, thank you.
Anything else?
Thanks, Sean.
No problem.
Have a great holiday, bud.
All right, thank you.
Happy
You guys have a
Thanksgiving.
great Thanksgiving. I have to work, but it's gonna be our busy day up in Maple Heights, but
As the one who's doing all the cooking and cleaning and decorating, work is actually the easier route, I can tell you. Enjoy the holiday.
thank you, you guys too.
Martha, would you be okay if we do executive session first?
Sure.
Okay. Now move to go into executive session to discuss the annexation appeal with council at 6:54.
Second.
Seconded by Asherle. All in favor? Let's call the roll.
Sawyer,
Yes.
Asherle?
Yes.
Augustine?
No. And that's because we've been told that this is not a reason for executive session, so I stick with the same response every time we do it.
Unmuted.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll move to come out of executive session at 7:40 with no decision made.
Second.
Second, call the roll, please.
Swedek?
Yes.
Asherle?
Yes.
Augustine?
Yes.
All right. Do you want to further discussion at this time?
I think we have to because of our timeline, right?
I think so. So I don't see a path forward that's successful. Either by starting it, the appeal process, or going full bore in, just because of the issues that were noted relative to being able to refile.
Do you want to explain what?
We're talking about the appeal process. Currently, the court has ruled in favor of the applicant, so our appeal was denied. Now we have the opportunity to again appeal it to the next level court, which wouldn't cost us as much as the first one, but it's still a substantial amount of money, 15,000.
Won't they just keep?
If
Oh, excuse me.
if we were successful there, it would be remanded back to the court to decide it again. And if they decide it again, regardless of what happens, the applicant has the opportunity to correct the defects that we've noted in the application that we allege. And if they correct it and refile, then it's likely that we would not be able to appeal it. We wouldn't have anything to appeal on. Or they could even file what's called an express expedited, which there's no hearing for that even. It just goes immediately before the commissioners.
So this isn't a statutory appeal, this is a defect appeal?
Correct.
But I brought up a new challenge that would be useful in any type of appeal.
So they will just keep remedying any defect that may come up and move on to the.
Well, there's
Could.
something about the greater good. So is it, or is the township losing out because it's going there? I don't see that as a successful path forward myself. I just don't. I think that everything that was cited, even with police and fire, those are things that go on in every community, and I just don't see it as something that's winnable. But that's my opinion on it.
I don't,
Yeah, you know what? And I should have had him come up. You need to use the microphone.
I was gonna say, maybe, I don't know if you're looking at us for.
Can you
You gotta go up to the. oh,
microphone?
Or bring one back to you. There's only two of you back there.
Yeah. Well, four of us.
Which two is there?
At that table.
Oh,
Jeff Hoop, 958 State Road. But in my opinion, it was a lose deal on Hinckley's part anyway. I believe we were railroaded by Drug Mart, Brunswick, and the county commissioners. Not pointing any fingers, but one of the things that I just kept going by and nobody seemed to notice was the summary of fact that was written, I believe, by Drug Mart even, there was a thing in there that there was not an excessive land grab out of that, why they made their decision. Well, if Hinckley's 25 square acres or whatever it is, that's true, but they took 5 acres out of, I think, a total of 20 is the only area that we had that was B1. And they took 25% of that. I think that's substantial.
Mr. Hoop, that's a challenge I just brought forward to council.
Okay, that's just, something,
It's a good
But-
point.
my opinion. So,
Thank you.
Anything else? And we'll entertain a motion.
What did council advise?
What's your motion?
I didn't know if one of these would like to.
Make a motion.
I think that one of the things that we really should consider moving forward is a JED. I don't know what that looks like. We haven't talked about any of the parameters of that, but I have talked about it consistently. I have taken a class on it. It is a way for Hinckley to maintain its borders. And I hope that the next board considers at least looking into a JED. That's just my opinion.
And as I have said, a JED conversation, in my opinion, needs to happen after the annexation is completed one way or another, to go, it is an ultimate, it's an ultimatum to say, well, we can make this go away if we enter into a JED. That's not going into an agreement as equal partners. That is going into an agreement with us being the child and Brunswick being the parent, telling us what they will allow us to have. It's not a partnership.
I think that equal parameters in a partnership can't be spoken about until we actually look at what the parameters would be.
I would like to make a motion to appeal the annexation ruling from Judge Hudson for Discount Drug Mart.
Second.
Second by Augustine.
I think you need to make that a resolution.
And I think we should add in that we're going to be paying Mr. Schrader a flat $15,000.
And not this, Mr. Chairman.
No.
Oh,
I think those are two separate. I think those are two separate motions. So your first resolution is to appeal the decision of the Medina County Court of Common Pleas and appeal to the 9th District Court.
Moved as amended.
Second.
Trustee Augustine?
Are we voting?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Asherle?
Yes.
Trustee Sweattick, I will vote no.
Okay, now you can make your motion to hire.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Attorney Al Schrader to appeal the annexation to the 9th Court of Appeals at a cost of $15,000.
Do we want to do an amount not to exceed? Or just keep it at a cost?
At an amount not to exceed.
Second.
Second, I will call the roll. Trustee Augustine?
Yes.
Trustee Asherle?
Yes.
Trustee Sweattick? No. All right, we put that one to bed for tonight. Martha, do you want me to make that for you first, or do you have anything else?
What?
Are you gonna read that?
No,
Okay.
I just writing down the resolution numbers. I have 3 resolutions regarding ambulance grant the fire department received.
Okay, move to adopt a resolution 112-123-02, accepting participation in the ARPA Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program to workforce relief pay eligible to workers. Pay to eligible workers, I am sorry. Whereas the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, was signed by Congress into law on March 11, 2021. Whereas the state of Ohio, through Ohio Office of Budget and Management, OBM, was directly allocated and accepted $5.3 billion in coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, SLFRF, from the United States Department of Treasury. And whereas pursuant to section 280.10 of HB 45, the state of Ohio appropriated $20 million in SLRF funds to OBM for the Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program. And therefore, the Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program shall be used by OBM to administer grants to any public, not-for-profit, or private ground transportation provider who submitted claims to the Ohio Department of Medicaid during the fiscal year. And whereas the ambulance transportation provider shall use the funds to provide premium pay to eligible workers, support workforce relief, or provide reimbursement for COVID-19 mitigation and prevention costs incurred during the pandemic. And whereas the township has received a distribution of $20,000 from the Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program to support the impacts on the essential frontline workers. And therefore, the Hinckley Township trustees agree to use the Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program funds for workforce relief to eligible workers that performed essential work during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Second.
Seconded by Augustine. All in favor?
Resolution.
Resolution, I'm sorry.
Swedek,
Yes.
Asher,
Yes.
Augustine.
Yes.
Move to adopt resolution 0112-123-03, which establishes a local fiscal recovery fund 2274 for the purpose of receiving Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program grant coronavirus local fiscal recovery funds.
Second.
Swedek,
Yes.
Asher,
Yes.
Augustine.
Yes.
Move to adopt resolution 0112-123-04 to submit a request to amend the Hinckley Township Certificate of Estimated Resources to the Medina County Auditor for the purpose of receiving Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program grant coronavirus local fiscal recovery grant monies in the amount of $20,000. Upon receipt of the amended Certificate of Estimated Resources, the revenue and appropriation budgets will be amended to reflect the grant monies.
Second.
Swedek,
Yes.
Asher,
Yes.
Augustine.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have to ask you guys to make a reallocation of funds in the general fund due to the
Fire Al.
approved Al Schrader. So, a motion to take $5,000 from Fund 1,120,323 General Fund Repairs and Maintenance and reallocate it to Fund 1,130,360,0000 Contracted Services
So moved.
as a resolution,
Second.
Resolution 05. Jack,
Melissa, yeah, Melissa seconded.
all right, Swedek?
Yes.
Asher?
Yes.
Augustine?
Yes.
And then, our audit is complete. If anybody's interested in looking at it, it's available on the Auditor of State website.
Got that email. Thank you.
I will move to pay the bills in the amount of $406,600.60.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Zoning.
This is an interactive meeting. Zoning, we have some discussions just as far as our zoning board members. We have a letter from Matthew Marzullo, who would like to continue on in the zoning commission. And we have also a letter from Lindsay Rubel, who will be up with the BZA. She would like to continue on as well. With our zoning commission, we have a letter from Mr. Bill Schrader, who's a first Bill Spellman, who's a first alternate, who will be stepping down. He served the zoning commission for 7 years and was chairman of the zoning commission. Came back, said he would serve a year and did so. We made him an alternate and now he's going to step down. So wanted to let the trustees know that Mandria Aceto, who is the second alternate for the zoning commission, has showed willingness to move up. I think you all were on that email. And so wanted to recommend her for that position and see if we wanted to interview or put her in that position or interview for the second zoning alternate position, or are we just going to have one alternate on both boards? How will we be working this for 2024?
I would say we can set up interviews for December if that's what you are thinking. I think that the appointment should wait until our January 2nd meeting. When we have interviews in December, I would certainly see if Cindy Engelman would be available to join us in executive session. I think that the zoning appointments were done hurriedly in 2021, and people were appointed knowing that 2 of those board members were not returning. So, you know, Jack and I did not have a voice with our board or with our zoning and BZA. And then additionally, we had to re-interview people in January because we wanted to meet with people as well and interview them. So I would say, in the essence of saving time, I would invite Cindy to join us if she's available, and we can make the appointments at the January 2nd meeting.
Since you have enough alternates, can't you just wait till after the holidays and do it? I mean, you're losing one alternate, but you still have an alternate, right?
That's what I think.
I don't know, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, we always interview in December.
No, we
Mhm.
don't. We
As long,
always
as long,
have
I mean, I've been a trustee for 5 years.
for 4 years.
We've
so.
interviewed in December. It's up to the board, however you want to proceed. If we're talking about time management, I think that we should only interview people who have not been interviewed 3 times or more.
I think it's incumbent on.
Because honestly, if they've been interviewed 3 times,
If
because
you're
we've had a
not
lot of
voting-
interviews
if you're
for
not gonna
zoning.
be Voting on the position, what is the point?
I'm allowed to speak as a trustee still, Martha.
Of course you are, but I'm
Yes.
just saying, if you're not voting.
I'm just saying, when
January.
interviews happen in the future and moving forward, we've had many interviews for zoning commission and BZA within the past couple of years. And I would recommend to the board that if anyone has interviewed 3 times or more, really, what good is that to our?
I would prefer to re-interview. I would.
Do you want to re-interview in December, or do you want to re-interview?
If there's
in
enough to get through the
January?
holidays, if they have enough on board, I would hold it till after the holidays.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I will let Mandria know that she will just remain on, and you will get back to her with regard to whether or not she will be an alternate for next year for the zoning commission. We have a donation of land to one of our cemeteries. I'm going to go ahead and pass this information down to all of you.
Just going back on that for a second, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Should we talk about scheduling interviews in January, because we would have to advertise that in December? So should we talk about taking out the notice in the papers and posting on the website of alternate positions on the BZA and also on the zoning commission?
What paper? We never advertise in the paper. We just put it on the website.
Okay. On our website.
I mean, the zoning
To post
budget
on our
is not a
website.
big budget, so I
So,
would recommend just one alternate per board. That's my recommendation. I think we were successful with that last year. Martha, this is your copy.
Jack, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I agree. You set up the
Set up the
interview,
interviews.
yeah, posted.
So, would you like to try and set things up for the second, since we will have organizational meeting and that will be our first meeting also? Try and set up interviews for, January 2nd. So, interviews for January 2nd. Am I making sense? So we can take out the notice, put the notice on the website that we're accepting applications, and then we can schedule interviews for January 2nd prior to our first meeting.
This is
Okay.
why the interviews typically happen in December, so that when you're going into your organizational meeting, you know who your board members and alternates are.
January 2nd interviews, okay. So we'll post the notice on the website for that. Melissa, would you like to notify Suzanne, or would you like me to?
Well, you've just organized it. You can let her know.
Perfect. I will take care of that tomorrow.
Perfect. I'm passing these down to you. This is just an overview that Tom Wilson put together as far as some of the zoning things going on, Bluestone, Hollowwood Hidden Lake, Rock Ridge, Ridge Cemetery, which I'm going to speak about next, and then the Columbia Gas. I think you guys have been on many of these emails. We are receiving a 1.5 acre land donation from Victoria, who is the wife of Bruce Schneider. He was a longtime BZA, zoning commission member. It says BZA on here. And Doug Kraus is the attorney that will be helping Victoria pro bono with the transfer. And you've got a map that shows you what that looks like. It's an additional 1.5 acres to Ridge Cemetery. And so we're very, very grateful to the family for the donation. And
That's
I
very
will
nice.
keep you updated as we move forward on this. We will be having conversation with the service department too, as to potential ideas for the driveways, ways we might be able to expand it and offer more cemetery plots up there. So that is that for cemeteries. And do you mind if I just move on?
Please.
I've got cul-de-sac language. You each have a copy of it here in front of you. From April. And as I stated at the last trustee meeting, the cul-de-sacs became, the islands in the cul-de-sacs became mandatory with the new resolution in April of 2023 in our subdivision standards. But we had a resolution back in 2020 saying that there were not to be any islands in cul-de-sacs unless by trustee approval. So we just need to define for all of these projects coming up that Mr. Wilson listed for us, which direction we're going. So
Well, this says that they're applicable from February 18 forward.
I see that on there. So the last resolution just goes away.
Well, it doesn't go away. It was applicable from that time period up until April 17,
Understood.
2023.
Okay,
From
that's
here on
fine.
in, April 18.
So I will let them know, because there's been a lot of questions from Davy Resource as to islands and the planning commission. Okay, the markers for the memorial trees, I'd like to table that and come back to it if that's okay with you at the next meeting. The garden club has asked to be involved in the community garden. We have, I believe, a member or two from the garden club that have plots at the community garden, and they are not thrilled with how it's been handled. And so they are asking this board if they could be involved in it. They donate a lot of time and energy in beautifying the town center for us. I know they're going to be getting ready to put out all the Christmas decorations. And so they wanted to see if the board would allow for them to be a part of the better beautifying and bettering the community garden as well.
Did they have any specific, like anything specific they want to
Have
do?
you been to the community garden?
Yes,
It needs a lot of things.
right, that's why.
They
I'm-
would come to us.
That's why I'm
They
asking
would
what
come
they
to
want.
us with any type of fees that would be associated with it, like they do anything that they do in town center. But they are very good at donating time and materials and just coming to us with sometimes just some of the bigger priced items.
So, but they'll come and ask us before doing
They
it.
always do.
I don't object.
No.
Perfect. I will let them know. I wanted to thank everyone who came out to the tree dedication on Sunday for Trustees Rhodes and Schulte. It was a perfect day and we had a little ribbon cutting and it was really nice to see all the family members and friends there. And lastly, we have 2 meetings scheduled for the December 5th. One is at 9:15 a.m. at Hinckley Elementary School. And I believe the other one is a 6:30 meeting here because we want to just give the kids a light trustee meeting. I will only be attending the trustee meeting at Hinckley Elementary School. We've never done 2 meetings on one day when we've held the elementary school meeting. The intention is for the kids to get a grasp of how their government works and they love it. I've talked to 3rd graders already. They're very excited for us to come in. And I would encourage the board to maintain that relationship with the school. We used to have a township day that the 1st graders would come to town hall and go to the historical society and get to know the police officers and the firemen and the service department members. So they weren't afraid of those people when they have interactions that may be hard. We used to have firefighter Lydia who would go out and do education in the school and she's no longer with us. So I think that encouraging the township day would be a great thing for our youth in the township.
Well, I know they love seeing the police officers there every day. Now, 2 questions about that. I had that down as 9:30 a.m.
I can confirm it with Mr. Carpenter. I think it is 9:30. I think you're right.
And I had sent you an email. I'm not sure if you saw it last week about, Suzanne was asking about the flags, getting everything over there. So what do we need to do from town hall?
Suzanne and I are working on it.
Okay, I was not certain because I did not get a response.
We just need to make sure that when we publish that meeting, that it is not going to be done virtually. It will just be an in-person meeting. Oh, and I did have one more update. Ohio Edison has successfully fixed the lights at Ridge and Bellis as well as 606 and Kellogg. And that is all.
Trustee Asherle.
Okay, before I move on, Melissa, did you want to address? I had it printed up, but since it was based off of your email, the email that you had sent regarding the grievance you had filed?
I have nothing to add to that right now.
Okay, I just wanted to address it since it was emailed to us publicly that you had filed a grievance. I spoke with the prosecutor about this last week. He advised that we not go into executive session to discuss this. You sent us an email letting us know that you were officially filing a grievance on Police Chief Sentner. I'm going to paraphrase this for falsifying his investigation. I find that to be unfounded. No one at the prosecutor's office recalls you giving any names of any complainants. I did speak with him again on Friday about this. I know Jack also cannot confirm that you gave any names of the complainants. And in the report, it says that
There's
police.
a process and procedure in the handbook to handle a grievance, and this is not it.
Well, I spoke with the prosecutor, so I just wanted to get this on the record.
I know you
Of,
do.
well, yes. So I do not, I find that as unfounded with your grievance of falsifying a report.
You weren't in the room.
And
Trustee
in
Augustine,
terms
please.
of, insubordination, as I told you last week, I do not think that Chief Sentner was insubordinate. I believe that any statements he made was in response to your statement, and I find them to be warranted. So I find no validity to the grievance.
And on the advice of the prosecutor's office, I will also comment that I had told you that I saw nothing wrong with Police Chief Sentner's actions. And this was a personal issue and you were welcome to pursue it on your own. The board is done with this.
Okay, the holiday light contest, just as a reminder, we are having a contest for the best decorated home in the township. The winner will be announced at our December 5th meeting at Hinckley Elementary. We just need you to submit any photos that you have of your outdoors to the township at admin@hinkleytwp.org. Send those to us by Monday, November 27th. And then all of the children at the elementary school are going to vote on the winner December 1st, and we'll reveal the winner on December 5th. The top 5 homes are going to be featured on our website, and also the Hinckley Record will be doing a cover story on the winning home. So get those pictures in. Also, I have on here the ARPA wish list discussion. I just wanted to publicly talk about this because we had talked, I think, sometime in the summer and said we were going to discuss our ARPA wish list items later this year. It kind of kept getting pushed down. So my recommendation is we just wait at this point until January, maybe like the first work session of January, we can discuss it and see how we want to proceed with that. But that is my recommendation.
Well, I've made recommendations all throughout the year. None of them have come to fruition, and I would like the board to consider a new roof for this building and updating the interiors of this building. We have a lot of people that use this for rentals and it's outdated, and they would like to see a more modern, traditional look that goes with everything. If they're coming in with blue streamers, doesn't match the red curtains on the walls. Further, there's a flagpole outside that we keep getting calls on that's completely rusted, and the park benches in many of the parks do not look very good.
Okay, and Jack, other than that, are you good with waiting?
Yes.
That is all I have.
Okay, the first I will do is you thought FOP might be here this evening. It does not appear they are. We do have the executable agreement from attorney for the police labor contract. And I will move to adopt a resolution ratifying the labor agreement between Hinckley Township and the Hinckley Police Patrolmen's Union, Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 15, FOP, effective until September 30 of 2025.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Asher?
Abstain.
Augustine?
Yes.
Circulate the signature pages. And we'll have the attorneys get them over to the FOP for signature.
And I will not be signing them
Okay.
on advice of the prosecutor.
Second, I have the employee manual completed and.
What?
Yeah,
It's done?
there is one tiny other change in there with the, thank you to Martha. She asked about a question about issue 2. With the passage of issue 2, decriminalizing marijuana. He said the only thing he had me add was a section in there, the word marijuana, and you cannot use that at work. So I thought that was a good suggestion, and we wrote that in. It's in section 4.13. So with that, I will move to adopt a resolution approving the complete update of the Hinckley Township non-employee union manual effective non-union employee manual. Thank you. Martha, does it affect you if we make that effective today versus the first of the year? Or is it?
Probably
I
should
would
be.
do it the first of the year. That way we can start a clean slate with
Okay.
the holidays and everything else.
Effective January 1 of 2024. This update supersedes any previous applicable manual content and or policies.
Second,
Call the roll, please.
Swedek?
Yes,
Asher?
yes.
Augustine?
Yes.
thank you. And we hit a snag in the east wall that when the contract was sent to the prosecutor's office, he questioned the performance bond and the clause for prevailing wages. When I talked with the architect, he said former trustee had run all this through the prosecutor's office and it was ready to go. Prosecutor's office said, well, because the amount changed, it now exceeds the threshold for not requiring those. So at this point, we have to rescind the awarding. And he's modifying that. We should get a quick turn on it to go back out. I've advised the architect of that, and hopefully the same individual will rebid and be within the threshold. So I will move to rescind the resolution accepting the bid from Apollo Construction for the old fire station east wall renovation project in the amount of $109,300 with the alternate one at a cost of $588 for a total of $109,888.
Second,
Call the roll, please.
Swedek?
Yes.
Asher?
yes.
Augustine?
Yes. Actually, I'll just abstain, Martha. I wasn't there for that meeting.
Well,
Yeah, I know I can still vote, but I'm not going to. Just abstain.
A move to approve the appropriation of $2,000 to the Medina County SPCA for an annual fair share contribution.
Second.
Second by Augustine, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have a mock-up of a sign for the donated property from Mr. Gibson. And a price quote on this. This is a version that I would like the township to use. The background on this is an all aluminum sign with the graphic printed, and then the sign is laminated. Guaranteed for, I think it's 10 years.
Have you spoken to Mr. Gibson?
Yes, sir. Well, let me finish here. The cost of two of these signs to make the V formation that he wants will be approximately $600. The posts and the frame, I talked to the service department, and they can make the frame for this that will hold it in black tubular steel and a very nice finish on it, and using 6x posts to mount it. The cost of all of that material is under $400. So we're looking at doing this whole project, well, in about less than half a day labor to do the installation. So we're about maybe $1,000 out of pocket on this sign. I'd like to present this to Mr. Gibson and ask him if he finds it acceptable, or if he would prefer to do something on his own.
I spoke with Mr. Gibson and he's asking us to table this. He is looking and having conversations with alternate groups about preserving the 22 acres secondary to the fact that the township did not have the sign done within the year as the contract stated. It's a 22 acre donation and the sign was supposed to be done within a year's time, which I believe now is almost 2 years' time.
Well, I will tell you, that doesn't fall in the township because I had a sign prepared and there were multiple changes requested, meetings requested, and the gentleman who was going to do the sign effectively said, he stopped answering the calls. And when I met up with him again last month, he said, look, I've got people that are willing to move forward with projects. So that's why that was stalled. But all right, I will table it. One other thing is I had communications with somebody from ODOT today. And he had my contact information. He said he sent something to town hall a month or so ago about an easement on the corner here for them to do the installation of new traffic lights.
Mhm.
Oh, you know about that?
You signed off that you saw it. We all
I
got a letter. And we signed, there's a check mark where you check that you saw it and read it.
It didn't come back to me as me being the point person on it.
I don't know what to tell you. We all checked it, that we read it.
Okay, fair enough. At any rate, he'll be sending me all the information on it in the future as they move along. It's similar to the easement that we recently granted down on Center Road down by River. And that is all I have for this evening.
Can I get a real quick clarification on the Ridge Cemetery donation?
Sure.
So there won't be any transfer or any.
The
anything
details are
done?
not worked out yet. I'm just bringing it to the trustees'
Well, I
attention.
understand that, because let me finish, please. The trustees will have to accept the donation before there can be any legal work done or any transfer on it. That's just what I want to make sure. I saw Doug is helping
Mhm.
Victoria with that.
Yes.
So that you guys or the board composition will have to accept the donation prior to any legal transfers.
I'm aware of that.
Anything else from the board? Public? Nothing being said, I will move to adjourn. Oh, please come on up.
I just
Take turns. Take turns. You both raised your hands.
I just have one hypothetical. Oh, sorry. Jim Larson, 20 Car Road. I just had one hypothetical relative to the annexation. Did council give you any idea how long a duration of time between when they file and when a decision might be rendered? Is it weeks, months, years, or?
Months,
And I don't know is also a good answer. I'm just curious.
months.
Months? Thanks.
Mr. Hoop.
I'm not walking up there, but I support the appeal opinion.
Thank you. All right, with nothing else, I move to adjourn at 8:23.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.